Imagine the scene, a mother, her eyes filled with worry, pushing a shopping cart. She's doing her best for her children, but she knows things aren't easy. Money is tight, and she has to choose what she can and can't buy, what she can and can't provide for her kids. With every item in the cart, the pressure builds, and when she reaches the checkout, reality hits hard. The total is higher than she can afford. But the worst part isn't her despair. The worst part is that with no alternatives, she starts returning the most essential items. The rice, the milk, the beans. The scene is pure pain. Shame, frustration, and the feeling of failure as a mother overwhelm her, while the people around her don't seem to notice the weight of that moment. But here's what you wouldn't expect. In the middle of all of this, there's someone watching. A man, calm and sophisticated, who has everything anyone could want, and seeing that desperate mother, he decides to take an action that will change her life forever. A gesture of kindness, of generosity, but also a surprise that no one could have predicted. What happens next? An unexpected opportunity. A radical change. A journey of overcoming, courage, and above all, humanity. Get ready to follow a story that will touch your heart because, sometimes, all we need is a helping hand at the right moment to rewrite our lives. Stay with us, and discover how the life of an ordinary mother can change forever, and how the gesture of a billionaire can have the power to transform everything. Anna gripped her wallet tightly, her eyes fixed on the ATM screen, trying to do the calculations in her head. She didn't want to believe what she was seeing. Her savings were nearly gone, and the need to feed her children forced her to shop at the supermarket. Each packet of rice, beans, and pasta seemed heavier than the last. She held the items in her hands, the shame growing heavier with every passing second. When the total appeared on the screen, the reality hit hard. She didn't have enough money to pay. The sound of her rapid breathing seemed to echo in her ears. The cashier looked at her with an indifferent expression, waiting for her to figure it out, but Anna could feel the gaze of the other customers around her. She began returning some of the more expensive items, her heart tight with every one. She tried to hold back the tears, but a bitter feeling was forming in her throat. It was in that moment that she noticed a man behind her, watching the scene. He seemed different from the others, well-dressed, elegant, perhaps a little detached from her reality. She didn't know it, but he was Marcelo, a billionaire who had long felt disconnected from the little things in everyday life. He watched Anna's moment of shame and struggle, and something inside him stirred, making him move. Marcelo hesitated for a moment before approaching Anna. He knew what he wanted to do, but wasn't sure if she would accept. He could see the pain and shame written all over her face. When he reached her side, he spoke calmly but firmly. "Sorry to interrupt, but I'd like to pay for this shopping," he said, his voice gentle yet full of empathy. Anna looked at him, surprised. "No. I can't accept. I don't need your charity," she quickly replied, trying to hide the humiliation. But Marcelo insisted. "I'm not offering charity. I'm just helping. I see the struggle in your eyes and I know what it means. Don't let pride stop you from accepting help when it's offered." She looked at the items on the shelf, unsure of what to do. Her children at home needed her. Her situation was tough, but she never imagined a stranger would approach and offer help. Doubt consumed her, but the need spoke louder. She accepted, though with a lump in her throat. "I'll accept. But please don't look at me like someone who can't take care of her own family," she said, trying to control her trembling voice. Marcelo smiled slightly. "I'm not looking at you that way. Everyone faces difficulties. But I can help in another way too, if you accept. I want to invest in your skills, help you get a job that can change your situation." Anna looked at him wary, but the sincerity in his eyes made her think. "I don't know. I don't know what to do. Let me help you." I won't ask for anything in return, I just want you to have a chance to start over. Marcelo left her his business card. Think about it. When you're ready, reach out to me. Anna took the card, but her mind was full of doubts. She never imagined such a simple gesture could change her life so much. She just stared at the card, not knowing what to do with it, but something deep inside told her that her life was about to change. Anna left the supermarket with a shopping bag, feeling the weight of Marcelo's business card in her hand. She glanced at it briefly before tucking it away in her wallet, as if trying to push away any idea that she might actually need help. She was used to getting by on her own, always struggling to make sure her family had what they needed. Asking for help was something she would never do, especially from a complete stranger. She didn't know what Marcelo wanted or what he might expect in return, but something inside her told her that accepting his offer wouldn't be easy. When she got home, Anna was greeted by her children, eager for dinner. Their smiles melted her heart, but also brought a sense of guilt. How could she accept help from someone so far removed from her reality? That night, she couldn't sleep. Marcelo's offer haunted her. He seemed genuine, but she couldn't allow her vulnerability to be seen. Once again, pride stopped her from thinking clearly. She needed to do everything on her own, no matter how difficult it was. Days passed, and Marcelo's idea never left Anna's mind. She tried to focus on her job search, but doors kept closing. Frustration grew with every failed interview and each day without a solution. Her children deserved more than she could offer, and the weight of guilt only grew. Finally, one Saturday, Anna sat at her small kitchen table, staring intently at Marcelo's business card. She thought about what he had said, "I want to invest in your skills." She knew she was at a breaking point, and perhaps the only way to change her situation was to accept his offer. But could she trust someone so different from her reality? Anna took a deep breath and grabbed the phone. With trembling hands, she dialed the number on the card. He answered after the second ring. "Hello, Anna," Marcelo said, his voice calm and welcoming. "How are you?" I've been thinking about what you said," Anna began, hesitantly. Maybe I can accept your help." Marcelo smiled on the other end of the line. "Don't worry, Anna. I understand the difficulty. But know that I'm not offering just a favor. I'm offering a chance for you. When you're ready, we'll begin." In that moment, Anna knew her life was about to change. She was still apprehensive, but something inside her made her believe that this was the only real opportunity she would have to start over. She committed to trying, not knowing exactly what to expect, but with the hope that she could finally turn her life around. Anna sat in the living room, a simple and cozy space, but one that always reminded her of the daily struggles. Her children were playing in the room next door, and the house, though small, was the only place where she felt like she still had some control. But in that moment, she couldn't shake the doubt swirling in her mind. Marcelo was a billionaire. He had everything anyone could wish for: money, power, a life free from the pressure she faced. And yet, he had approached her, a simple woman with a history of hardship. Anna knew he could have helped anyone else, but he chose her. Is he expecting something in return? She thought, staring at the phone in her hand. It wasn't an easy question to answer. She knew she needed help, but her pride was still at war with the idea of being seen as weak or dependent. Marcelo's help seemed too generous to be real, but at the same time, she knew that if she didn't try, she'd remain trapped in her cycle of frustration and defeat. And yet, a small voice inside her whispered, "What if this is the chance you need?" After a day of deep reflection, Anna made a decision. She didn't know what the future held, but she was willing to give herself a chance. She scheduled a meeting with Marcelo, feeling a mix of nervousness and curiosity. She knew she was about to enter an unknown world, but at least now, she would have some direction. When she arrived at the meeting location, a modern and elegant room in Marcelo's office, Anna felt out of place. Everything was so different from what she was used to. But Marcelo welcomed her with a genuine smile and warmth that made her feel comfortable, even in such a distant environment. "Thank you for having me," Anna said, sitting in the chair opposite Marcelo. "It's my pleasure," he replied with a calm smile. "I want you to know that I'm here to truly help you. I want you to discover your skills and strengths, and find a path that makes you feel fulfilled." They began discussing the plans he had for her. He suggested a professional coaching program to help her explore her abilities and guide her toward new opportunities. Throughout the conversation, Marcelo made Anna understand that this wasn't charity, but empowerment and personal development. Deep down, Anna knew she was still uncertain about how all of this would work. But she also knew that if she didn't make this decision, she would never know what she could achieve. She was tired of living in fear and limitations. "I accept," she finally said, a sense of relief, but also apprehension, washing over her. "I accept your help." Marcelo smiled with an approving look. "I'm really glad you've decided to try, Anna. And I'll be with you every step of the way." It was the beginning of a new journey. She didn't know where it would lead, but for the first time, she felt like she was taking a real step toward the future she had always dreamed of. Anna began attending the professional coaching program with enthusiasm, but soon realized that the path wouldn't be as simple as she had imagined. The sessions were intense, with Marcelo challenging her to step out of her comfort zone and explore her skills in ways she had never done before. During the first session, she hesitated when asked to talk about her strengths and weaknesses. She felt insecure, as though all of her past failures were on display. But Marcelo, with patience and understanding, helped her see her qualities. He made her realize that her abilities weren't just about what she knew how to do, but also about how she dealt with adversity, the resilience she developed with each challenge. In the following days, Anna threw herself into the process with even more dedication. She studied more, learned new skills, and applied what she learned to her daily tasks. Although there were days when she felt overwhelmed, something inside kept her steady. She knew time was passing, and she was investing in something that could change her life. Still, insecurity didn't disappear completely. During one of the exercises, when she was asked to present a business idea, Anna stumbled, feeling Marcelo's attentive gaze. She felt small and weak, as though she were losing a chance she could never recover. But Marcelo encouraged her. "It's not about being perfect, Anna," he said. "It's about taking the first step, no matter how awkward it may be. We all start somewhere." Those words stayed with her. Maybe progress wasn't linear, but she was starting to believe she could make it. After weeks of hard work and intensive coaching sessions, Anna felt more prepared. She updated her resume, started looking for job opportunities, and to her surprise, received an offer for an internship at a local company. It was an entry-level position, but a real chance to start over. Marcelo was excited by the news. "I knew you could do it, Anna. Now it's time to show them what you've got." However, the first day at the new job was anything but easy. Anna felt overwhelmed by the sheer amount of new information and the pressure to do her best. The team seemed experienced and confident, and despite her best efforts to stay composed, Anna couldn't shake the feeling of being an intruder. On her first day, she made a few simple mistakes, like forgetting to send important emails and not fully understanding the company's task management system. She went to the bathroom to regroup, feeling frustrated and defeated. But remembering Marcelo's words, she took a deep breath and decided she wasn't going to give up. When she returned to her desk, she asked her colleagues for help and worked hard to learn from her mistakes. She knew the first day would never be perfect, but that didn't mean she couldn't learn. By the end of the day, she felt a mix of exhaustion and satisfaction. It hadn't been easy, but she was on the right path. When she called Marcelo to tell him about her first day, he praised her. "You took the first step, Anna. Now just keep going." She smiled, feeling a renewed sense of confidence. Finally, she was starting to believe that she could do this. The days at her new job went by, and Anna began to feel more comfortable. Every task, every challenge overcome, helped her grow a little more. She knew there was still so much to learn, but something inside told her she was on the right track. The anxiety she had felt at the beginning was now replaced by a sense of purpose. After a few weeks, she received news that left her speechless. The company wanted to hire her permanently. She was called into a meeting with her boss, and upon hearing the words, an overwhelming wave of emotion took over her. "Anna, we've been very impressed with your performance. You had a tough start, but you've shown incredible effort. We want you to join our team permanently." When she left the meeting, Anna felt light, as if a huge weight had been lifted from her shoulders. She knew she wouldn't have gotten here without Marcelo's support, but she also knew that deep down, it was her courage that had made her take the first step. She called him immediately, sharing the good news. "Marcelo, I did it. I got hired permanently," she said, her voice filled with joy. "I knew you could do it, Anna," he replied, happiness evident in his voice. "Now the only thing you need to do is keep believing in yourself." Anna smiled, grateful for everything he had done for her. She knew she still had much to learn, but now she believed she was capable of achieving her goals. She was, at last, in control of her life. Anna looked back and reflected on everything she had achieved. Her journey hadn't been easy, but with every step, she had become stronger. Fear, insecurity, and even pride had been obstacles, but she had learned to face them and trust in her own potential. She was no longer the same woman who had walked into the supermarket weeks ago, trying to return food due to lack of money. Now she was a woman who had faced her fears, reinvented herself, and found a new direction for her life. More than a job, she had found the confidence and strength that had always been within her, waiting to be discovered. With her new job, Anna gave it her all, but she also made time to care for her children and give them the stability she had longed for. Their smiles when they woke up every day reminded her why she had started this journey. They were her motivation, and she knew that now she could provide them with a more secure future. But Anna also knew that her story didn't end there. She had something important to offer the world. She wanted to help other women who, like her, were going through tough times. If she could give back what she had received, maybe she could inspire others to believe in themselves and rise again. And so, Anna began working on a project to support women in vulnerable situations, helping them find jobs, training, and opportunities to restart. She knew that just as Marcelo had helped her, she could also be a source of hope for others. Anna's story wasn't just about overcoming, it was about transformation. From a woman who felt incapable to a woman who knew that, with support, confidence, and courage, anything was possible. She had taken the first step toward a new beginning. And now, she was ready to move forward, knowing that the journey she started in that supermarket would take her much farther than she had ever imagined. And so, Anna's life changed forever. What started as a moment of despair and shame turned into a story of overcoming and hope, proving that, often, a simple act of generosity can rewrite someone's destiny. But remember, true transformation doesn't come just from a miracle. It comes from the courage to accept help and the determination to never give up. If you were moved by this story and believe that acts of kindness can truly change the world, don't forget to like this video. Share it with your friends to spread more hope and inspiration around. And of course, don't forget to comment below and let us know what you think of this story. We'd love to hear your opinion. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss more heartwarming stories like this. We're always bringing content that will touch your heart and make you reflect. See you in the next video, and remember, We can all make a difference in someone's life, even with a simple act of compassion.